l'enfant.
All right, hello guys. So thank you, Anne-Laure, for the introduction. I'm super happy to be here. Actually, I'm a fellow of the family, and I live 2 blocks away from here, so feel like home here. It's really, really cool. When Erika firstly invited me to speak to you about content marketing, creativity, and strategy, I said, yeah, cool idea. When I saw that you were going to be like more than 300, I say, whoa, that's really even better. But when I learned that I had to speak in English, I was like, ouch. So please be indulgent. I'll do my best, I swear. I'm the founder of You Love Words, and we are content strategists for like 30 brands. They're mainly French, but they're also international. And we're a bunch of 10 guys. Some of them are here working in the company. And let me just take like 2 or 3 minutes to introduce you our story. I think it's important. Then I'd be happy to listen to yours. I've been working 5 years in the music industry at Universal Music, and I was in charge of 30 artists. So Johnny Hallyday and Daniel Dark. You call that le grand écart in French. That was really fun to work with them, but after 5 years, I was kind of fed up working with the same songwriters, with the same people, and I had the idea to invite writers, anonymous writers online, and to give them the opportunity to write a song for one of my artists. I really wanted to bet on a collective intelligence and to see what was coming out from it. So, I nearly developed on my own a quick website at that time and inviting people to write the songs. And after 2 weeks, I had like 100 amazing songs written by anonymous writers. Some of them were journalists, some of them were poets, some of them were, working in insurance company. But that's really what I liked. I felt like I was a gold digger and tried to find who were the talents, the next big stars. Not the one I was always calling for. So we found like a teacher in economic science or something like that. He wrote an amazing song without... it was 9 couplets and no refrain. And it was great. We did a valse from that. We sent that to the radio, and after like 2 months, it was in the top 10 of the French radio diffusion and #1 in iTunes. So that was a cool story, but that wasn't the coolest one. The coolest one was the next thing. The next thing then, for my point of view, was to create the first international platform, or at the beginning French, for writers. On the internet, each platform, each content has found its platform, so you can share pictures on Twitter or on Instagram for sure. You can share your video on YouTube, Dailymotion, etc. But what about text, writers, and so on? Now there's Medium and there are things existing, but at the beginning we did that for the first time. We built the first online community for writers, and it was pretty exciting to see that poets, slammers, storytellers, bloggers and so on were connecting to the platform and having the opportunity to share their point of view, their text, their creations. And the most exciting thing was to invite French creative industries organizing contests on the platform. So we had Flammarion, for example, organizing a contest. We had Arte organizing one, and a lot of creative industries doing that. And one day, as you said, Anne-Laure, My Little Paris called us and said, wow, you seem to have an amazing creative shaker. Things going on the platform seems to be cool. We'd like to give them the opportunity to show what they can write for us. And it was our first really success with a brand. And then we had other ones with BlaBlaCar, with Renault, and so on. That was 2 years ago. And so the next big thing for us was to create a production company, because we are feeling that these talents, they deserve better than just producing and showing their content online. So we decided to launch our production company. And as I said, for now 2 years, we're producing, to my point of view, amazing content for brands. But you don't do that like that. You have to have a method, you have to have a team, you have to have creative people, and you have to know what's motivating you, what's the goal in all of this. So content marketing is actually the real cool thing we're working in, and I'm not sure you all know what content marketing is. So my first point to you is to say that I'll try to be as general as possible, because some of you might be experts and some others are not. So I really try at the beginning to, to have a square and to be sure that everything that I'm saying fits in your cell and in your needs. So the best definition we found with the team is this one. I'm going to read it actually, because each word really counts. So content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience. That's really important. And ultimately, and to my point of view, that's the most important one, to drive profitable customer action. So we often oppose content marketing to brand content. Some people still use that word. That's not a problem in itself. But I think brand content is more looking for the wow effect. So you have amazing videos on internet with lots of views, but that's one shot, that's great, but what's the purpose in all of this? What are you building doing this? Content marketing is more a long-term thing and is more connected to a sustainable action. It's more connected to your sales as well. That's really an important point. Brand content gives you notoriety and brand awareness, where content marketing gives you other things, and actually its goal is to help you sell. Following Seth Godin, you all know him. I'm sorry, I had to take this quote because I love it. And following Seth Godin, content marketing is the only marketing left. Why? Because people are bored with traditional advertising. I'm sure here some of you already have Ghostery, you have ad blocks, and you don't want these banners interrupting you in your navigation on the internet. So that's really what it's about. I mean, this is dead. The sense of history is really going toward content, your stories, what you want to say, and not interrupting or just having these yellow flashy banners on your website. Content marketing is something really exciting when you see that 62%, when you see that it's 62% cheaper than traditional advertising, and that it gives you three times more leads. I mean, there's something to bet, there's something to create together, and that's what we're trying to manage with brands. I'm not sure if it's clear for you, but at the end, don't hesitate to ask me, and I'll move forward to this. Wow. I don't know about you, but it feels pretty exciting. I can have more leads, I can have more sales, and it costs me cheaper. So what's the deal? How can we manage that? The first really important thing is to define your goals and KPIs. I'm not teaching you everything saying that, but first things first, you really have to do this. And remember why you're doing your content strategy. I mean, some of you might do it for your brand awareness, okay? So I was saying brand content was more for that, but content marketing in a way as well. Are you producing content and pushing them on the internet and offline as well for your brand awareness, for your thought leadership? Do you want influencers to follow you? Do you want like everybody to spell your name? Okay, maybe. So if you're doing that, you really have to produce the content, have a strategy following that goal. If you're more into revenue generation, I mean lead generation, but also lead nurturing. I'm not sure if it's clear for you, but lead nurturing really means like, okay, you have to take care, to babysit your leads, to be sure that one day they'll buy your product. And lastly, customer experience is really something important. You might produce content for developing the loyalty of your company, the customer service, and that's really helpful in a lot of cases. So we are not opposing them. I'm just saying that these three main goals, they have several KPIs that you need to follow, and they will bring you to take several actions. So you'll see that I will show you some tools that I found with my team that we're working with later on. For this one, I mean, you'd really have to build your own KPI dashboard. So here's an example of what we're doing at You Love Words. Whether you have a business goal that's towards revenue generation and your content objective is lead generation, okay, you'll be more interested in not only having like the industry standards metrics such as how many leads, how many clients, how many sales did I do, but the purpose in content marketing is really to engage your audience. So really to be sure that what you're doing makes that there's a relationship that's creating. So it's interesting for us to follow return visit rate by SQLs, by sales quantitative leads, qualified leads. So this is interesting to my point of view to really follow that. Who's coming back? My lost customers, are they coming back in a way? I think it's really cool. For sure, you'll also follow who's coming to your website and who's buying. But one of the goals of this dashboard is really for each business goal to have a KPI. The next big and cool thing that we love at You Love Words is find the nice and juicy stuff that your customers will love. And that's really an important point. When you ask marketers about the main difficulty they face in their content marketing strategy, actually it's not budget. That's sometimes I'm saying that to my sales team and they might look at me like, what are you saying? Because business is tough, but actually it's to produce engaging content. When you produce engaging content, I mean, you find the budget. So the main difficulty is to produce engaging content. So for that, we're working a lot, and we're still doing that with our own team. We're working on what we are. I mean, what makes that every morning we wake up and we go to work? What makes that we believe in what we're doing? What makes that we're different? What's the symbol in what we're doing? If you enter the family office, you find the manifesto. That's exactly it. I mean, if I wake up in my company, well, it's not the case yet, but I'll try to have a big poster, just remembering to the team what we decided to do together. So that's really a good tip that I'm giving you, is to be sure that each of you have a manifesto. I don't know if you raise your hand, I'm not going to ask you that, but how many of you already have a manifesto? I'm not sure there are a lot of you that have one. Okay, so maybe 2, 3, 4, and you're hundreds. So that's really interesting to see that. I mean, the basics when you're starting producing content. Well, we don't think it's really useful and helpful, but it is. So really stick to your manifesto, and it's really a super exciting work to do. To just to say who we are, what's our mission, what's our value, what are we. How are we going to change the world? When you ask yourself these questions, you find your difference. So I'm going to try to see if it works. It does. And just click here. Some friend of ours working at Y Communication, they advised Usign. I don't know if you know Usign. Usign is a company that helps you do digital signature. And the thing they believe in is simplicity. So, I mean, it's simple as hello to say that, and that's how they named their blog or this platform. And they're really working on making things simple. It's in their DNA, and they're showing that to the rest of the world. And that's really interesting for that company to interview, to write articles about how we can make people's lives simple. And I think they're really in a good move actually doing that. Here's another example I found on the internet to show you how you can build your own manifesto. So it's like 1,000 manifestos with ns.com. And on that website, you'll find like more than 1,000 manifesto, and it will give you really cool and interesting ideas. Here's the manifesto. Here's the Apple manifesto. I'm not gonna read it, but it's totally crazy. We spoke about it with the team last time, and we're like, "Wow, it's a bit high what they're doing." But I think they really all year long stick to that thing, and they're helping like the genius that are marginalized sometimes, and the people that people don't really care of. They trust that they're the future genius. So that's really strong to put that in its manifesto. My point is really to say to you that if you don't have ideas or things to do, or articles to speak about, really stick to really stick to your differences. It's linked with brand territory. You all have in your own startups and in your own projects to define what's your territory. If you didn't define it, well, it will be difficult for you to have a sustainable strategy. And really fight the writer's block. I don't know if you know what the writer's block is, but how can I start writing the content? How can I, syndrome de la page blanche in French we would say. How can you do to change this? And actually there are several options we can try. And I wanted to have to test something with you, and we'll see how it works. That's really not what I'm advising you to do, but it's fun. People are using these kind of tools produced by HubSpot to find content subjects. So I don't know, maybe you can suggest me one word and I'll type it in. What kind of word can you suggest me? All right. I'll try. I hope it works. Maybe you another one. Truth? All right. And I want to add Trump. Whoa, that sounds inspiring. So, you can speak about everything. The ultimate cheat sheet on Trump. I mean, cheating, yes. Cheat, I don't know. But that's fun. I mean, maybe one day when we'll be really, burned out. All the team will click on this and we'll try to see how it works. But you really deserve more than this. I think you really deserve. Content marketing is. I'm sure your company is glamorous. We're working sometimes with elevators company. You have no idea what we can do in an elevator. Same thing with you. I'm sure you're glamorous enough. If you think of Coca-Cola, one of the world's brand that's producing the most amazing content. Do you think soda and a can is something glamorous? I'm not sure. This bubbly, sugary drink is not something that at the beginning you would think it would be amazing to create content for. But their symbol and the thing that's really strong in what they're doing is that it's friendship. It's something you share together. Simple as hello is simplicity. What's yours? We were speaking with the former VP of Cronenberg 2 days ago with the team, and he was saying that he actually wrote the manifesto of Cronenberg, and their purpose is to make people's life more lively. I don't know how to say that in English, but it's to bring life in people's life. And that's really different than just selling cans or selling bottles. So my advice is really to say to you, stick to your values, and when you see that figures, 64% of consumers are driven to a brand by shared values. So if you're honest, and if you're loyal, and if you're creative, I'm sure you will break it. Last but not least, I wanted to show you EpicBit. EpicBit is a website that allows you to find what's trendy in your business. I'm not sure it would tell you a lot looking at this, but it's really an amazing tool. When you don't have really cool subject IDs, you can go to that website and enter some keywords and see how people in your field are speaking. So you don't always have to create and to invent something brand new. Sometimes you just have to see what's made and to see how you can twist it and make it differently. Sophie, we have a happiness manager at the team, and she's interviewing sometimes our writers because we really take care of them. The last one we interviewed was Amélie, and she was speaking to us about her methodology when she's writing, when she's creating content. And actually, she was saying to us that everybody cannot afford to travel all around the world. I'm not sure it's that case, by the way. But every time she goes out and sees something in the street or meet people, it's another thing she can use in her production of content. So really put yourself in your content and listen really and produce really the things that you're referent for. So once you have your goals and once you have subjects and manifestos and territories, you'll need to start producing your content. So here's like a subjective list of content you can produce, but these are the ones we produce at You Love Words. So for sure, blog posts, landing pages. The family is excellent in building cool landing pages, and it works with cool call to actions as well. We'll speak about that later. We have our own newsletter. I guess you have yours. If you don't have, I really suggest you to have one. Then you can work on things like native advertising. I will show you what it is if it's not clear for you. Press releases, infographics, GIFs. What we often say at You Love Words is that depending for sure on the budget you have, you really have to test things, to try and learn and see what's best for your business. So we often oppose today snack content that you can really eat and consume at a meeting on the internet, but when you only have 1 or 2 minutes, to long reads, to really cool and long subjects. It's really interesting to see that today people, they have 2 seconds to decide to read and consume your content. So either you're really producing a cool, entertaining content that will catch their attention, either you're showing them that you're gonna learn and teach them something. So these are really two of the main things we do today. So let me show you, for example, some of the content we're speaking about. So snack content, it can be a short article, it can be a news, it can be like a Vine like this. You might all know Neymar is a football player. Okay, he's so quick that the ball that he's playing with the ball without us seeing him. That's an example of snack content. There's another one from Combini, really short with Christine and the Queen. I might show it to you later, but I want to move forward. Here's an example of long reads. Long reads are a bit more expensive to produce when you're a startup, but these are really cool. I love Microsoft stories. I don't know if you already had the chance to read some of them, but they really build something crazy. It's really animated, HTML5, and it brings you in a relationship in something really strong. Content marketing is about giving people the tool to believe you and to trust in you. So if you really show them that you spend time giving them advices and stuff, they will trust you better. So I'm just scrolling it down, and you will see it's animated. I mean, I like that. You might use Medium as well. It's less animated, but it's really long reads. We are really going deeper and deeper in a subject, and I really think that people are looking for that today. We've been working with Renaud, lastly, and Martin in our team on a media kit for the Formula E. And it was just to show you that you can also produce infographics. There are some tools today online that help you produce your own infographics. I can share some with you. But it's a work, it's a job in itself. So don't be like too confident in producing your own infographics. It takes some time, but it really works. I mean, on the social networks, it's really something helpful. If you're lacking ideas about how to build your own infographics, as simple as going to Pinterest, type infographics, and you'll have hundreds of examples of infographics. So when I do that, I open this one, and I just find this, and I scroll it down. Pretty clear and well made. So that's another small tip and advice I'm giving to you. If you're thinking of doing infographics, you can find inspiration here. I like Trello. I use it. I know some people of Trello came at the family as well. Well, here's another example of a content you can do. It's more animated. Again, it's HTML5. It doesn't cost that much, and I'm sure you have a bunch of people and geeks that could help you doing this. If you don't, we can advise you some. So I pretty much like that. It's a bit more entertaining than a classic infographics. You might have heard about Flipboard. Flipboard is not brand new, but Flipboard still works. And Levi's is really pushing cool content on its Flipboard page. Actually, they're pretty much exciting. It's like an aggregation of their presence in Coachella, things they like to share, their innovations. I'm just showing that quickly to you, maybe to give you an idea of what you could start with. It's really cheap. I mean, I'm nearly sure it's free, Flipboard. So you can have a look at it. Here's a website we're producing for Volkswagen through an agency called Fauve. And it's really funny because we've spent the last 3 years showing how Volkswagen was like like anti-pollution and really taking care of this. And I mean, now it's interesting to see that they need to move forward. When you're not aligned with what you're saying, then you need to strengthen your communication and your content marketing strategy. So now we're producing more and more content for them, and really forcing them now to tell the truth and to stick to their manifesto. By the way, here's I was speaking about GIFs. Okay, I'm not super fond of GIFs. They make me laugh sometimes. So you can create your own GIFs really easily. I did that with makeagif.com, but you could also call a guy called Julien Douvier. I don't know him, but I'm really fond of what he's doing. This is something really different, but that makes me, feel something. It's classy and it works a lot, but it doesn't cost the same thing. So brands such as Berluti, such as Petit Bateau, they ask him now to produce their gifts online, and it's pretty fun. And I'm sure this sometimes has more result than other kind of articles, but I bet they're measuring it. I was speaking about native advertising. I'm not sure you all know what this is, but here's an example. Alexandra in our team worked these last days with Volvo and Le Figaro to produce native ads for Volvo, actually. Do you know what native advertising is? No. We used to call that publi rédactionnel in French. So I don't know, sponsored writing maybe in English. Well, now it's called native ads, but you understand what I mean. It's a way to push a content on a media. It's paid by a brand, but it looks like a media content. So it's a lot of people think it's not fair and it's not journalism, but the trend is that a lot more and more brands, they're taking this opportunity to teach things to people and to engage them in a relationship through media. And they're really calling for some of our writers, but some of theirs directly as well, to produce the most relevant content they could do. So here's an example of a brand of native advertising. If you scroll down the homepage today of lefigaro.fr, you'll find out this call to action, conduite autonome à la recherche du temps perdu. Okay, and if you click on it, you'll land to an integrated website in Le Figaro. You feel like you're in Le Figaro, and it will be stuff about like autonomous driving and the future of driving. It's really interesting to see that brands they take this opportunity and they really try to produce high-end content, like journalistic content, to tell their story and to sell their content. Lastly, and then we'll move forward. If you scroll down a page on Le Figaro, for example, you'll reach these small ads. They're pushed by Outbrain. Outbrain is a native ad company, and they will make you click on it and land to a brand's website. Firstly, this didn't exist, and when you clicked on this, you were redirected to a Figaro article. So this is mainly this is native advertising. Yeah, don't forget the marketing in content marketing. What we're really trying to do with the team is to insert call to action in each content we're producing. Because as I think it's Tommy Walker from Shopify that said that, if your content doesn't drive actions, it's not marketing, it's content. And we named our last newsletter, Content is Dead, Long Live Content Marketing. That's exactly it. Just producing content and pushing them on your website without having a strategy and a content marketing strategy, it doesn't worth it. So your content have to be measurable and they have to be efficient. It's a bit sad sometimes, but content is a mean. It's not like an end in itself. It has to be driven to your company's sale. And I was super. We laughed a little bit with Thomas, my sales guy, 2 days ago. We were at a meeting with the customers, and we say, "Nous voulons faire de vos mots des euros." And the guy like looked at us and said, "Okay, that sounds interesting. How can you do that?" And it's a bit provocative, but in the end, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to produce creative content, and I think you should do the same to sell your product. So cool tools to measure the actions you're having on your website, or Google Analytics for sure. I don't know if you know Mail Tester, but sometimes we use it. It's a really, a small tool, but that helps you be sure that when you send a newsletter to people, all your call to action, they work well. All the links and the clicks you put work well. And another point that's important is that when you produce content, if you can, you have to produce them knowing your data. Knowing what your customers use, doing your persona, knowing really who's in front of you. Once you do that, you'll be more efficient and you'll be able to measure the results. Let me just show you how BuzzSumo works. Here it is. And it's not that cheap. I think it costs like $100 per month, so it's not always affordable. But it really shows you on that graph that our last articles we posted on our blog, well, they work more on LinkedIn than Facebook and than Twitter. And the content that work the best in our side, they are portraits and interviews. So that's really interesting to see that these things seem to work in our strategy versus some others that may be more evident to us, but that wouldn't work the same way in the end. So that tool really helps you do that, and you can do that for your competitors as well. We'll speak about competition later on, but use it just to show maybe on a simple and easy dashboard how it works. Thanks to that tool, you can also see who shared and where the backlinks come from. So you can see who's speaking about you. That's not the only tool that helps you do that, but really I advise you to test the free trial and to see how it works. Just a quick example of what we're doing here. L'Occitane en Provence is our new customer for 2 months, I would say. And they had a magazine online where they were speaking a lot about Provence and things. It was like the tourist office of Provence. And there were no clicks, no call to action to their content, to their products. So here's like it's a mock-up because it's not live yet, but we started from this. And now we're doing this. Okay, maybe I should do that. All right. So one of our point of view was to say, okay, Provence is cool, and the lavender fields, it's really cool, but you should twist it with something else. So the team had the idea to speak about mudra, for example, is the hand yoga, and we really called for an illustrator, and so we started producing content. Really relevant ones, content that were helping the customers of L'Occitane really feeling what the brand was trying to tell them, and engaging them in a relationship. So there are like 5 mudras to help you do all kind of stuff, like open your heart, feel better, and for each of them there's a call to action here. So you can buy the content of the brand, even if it's an oil or if it's a candle or whatever, and that's really a cool one. That's something we enjoyed producing. Another one. Whoa. There you go. I had the idea in the bath before the pitch. When I met L'Occitane with my wife, actually, we were speaking about routine and so on. This is not really like a male thing, but the idea was really to engage the L'Occitane's customers into, again, a relationship, and giving them 5 tips, a routine, to go to bed and sleep well. So first, this one is a bit fat. Okay, there's a product, and that's not really always what we're trying to do. But you could start with that product, and then we had the idea to suggest them to listen to a music based on the moon fluctuation. And that's really something amazing. Max Richter, this guy, he really produced an album just working on the moon fluctuations and so on. That's really a cool advice you could give to customers. Just hear that, see how it works, and tell us what you think about it. You could say, oh, it's crap and it didn't work at all, and I think your idea is stupid. But what we bet, because we haven't launched it yet, is that people will be interested, and maybe they will suggest their own music before going to bed. So you scroll down, and at the end, you suggest to the customers to test the experience and share it on the social networks. It's creativity driven to a click to action, but it's not something amazing to produce. It's just a method to respect and to develop. So I'm sure you guys could do exactly the same or even better. Something really fun that I found out yesterday is that the average attention span of a human being fell down to 8 seconds. It was 12 seconds in 2000. It means after 8 seconds, our mind is not sticking to what we're reading. You imagine 8 seconds. It's even less than a goldfish, un poisson rouge. So this is crazy. It really shows that what we have to do is really do relevant content and really try to tell something that's speaking to the audience, not just like being happy writing a content about something. That's really something quite tough that we have to face. I'm burning. I'm sorry if I'm sweating, but it's kind of hot here. Okay, really important, and I'll show you a tool we have in the team is to produce content consistently, and maybe that's the most difficult thing, because you all want to have your own content strategy, you all want to produce your content, and you might all already know that you had to put some call to actions. But what's really tough to do is really to stick to it and do it regularly. And it has to come from your CEO if you're not the one. But and I'm not always an example to follow. I'm really trying to have my team respecting the calendar, but it's really tough. So build your content calendar. I'll show you how it works. When you estimate the time you need, really double it by 2, because it really takes a lot of time. And I really advise you to produce at least 10 content per month. Less is not really worth it. It's cool, but I'm not sure you'll have the results you deserve. So let me see if that Google spreadsheet works. And there you go. This is how we use. Well, maybe firstly just show you. I didn't speak to you about it, but I'm not here to promote You Love Words. But we have our own production tool that helps you brief your own writers. At least it helps us brief our writers. So you can really have a dashboard where you write down your subjects. You don't forget a thing because there's a briefing with a lot of questions that are being asked to you, and then you push it to your writers with a calendar and sometimes. It's really cool for briefing and receiving content, but we are having a new feature coming in like 2 or 3 months with a calendar integrated. Since we don't have it yet, we're using that. And this is really listing all the subjects we want to speak about. And I mean, I'll be happy to share that with you after the meeting. It's really not crazy, but it works. So you should give a number to your content. When is it going to be pushed? What kind of content is it? Is it an article, an infographics, an interview? How many words? In what category does this content fit in? Is it in contenu, in our blog, or in portrait, or in strategy? You'll have a short subject, and you'll have a longer issue. This really works. And actually, what's really interesting to do is to start maybe from the keyword, from your main keyword you'll have to introduce in your content. So that's what we're doing. You see there's a column called FR keywords. Sometimes it helps us manage and try to find what's the next subject we'll have to speak about. You insert in that folder, I mean in that spreadsheet, the call to action. Okay, what's the landing page you want to drive to? You find a writer and you do it. So what we did is that we opened another folder here, listing all the content that have been produced. And what you can see here is that then it looks like that. This is our blog. This is a blog for content marketing. This is where we push our ideas. So if you need that spreadsheet, I'll be really happy to show it to you. If you need tips and maybe news and actuality you want to share in your that you want to get inspiration from, there's a really cool tool that we found. It's called Plan the Moment, and it's really listing all the things that you don't have to miss in the following days. I mean, in France at least. So the Euro Football Cup is coming soon. I mean, there are a lot of things. There's a G7 summit coming soon. This is a nice tool I wanted to share with you that you could use. What's interesting to see is that if you produce, that's a figure based on a survey and a study, so you have to interpret it. But with like 10 to 15 contents per month, you can generate on average 1,200 leads. Well, it depends if you're a B2B or a B2C company for sure, but that's a figure just to show you that, I mean, this is not only bullshit, it works. We haven't spoken yet about target and tribes and who are you trying to speak to. So it's really important for you to find your tribe and to reach out for it. I don't know if you made the exercise to know who you were speaking to. What's your persona? Who's your target? What's the profiling of the person you're trying to reach? At You Love Words, we're trying to reach marketers, marketing directors, communication directors, creative directors. There are a lot of them. So we spend time doing a persona for each of them, and I'll show you a really cool tool that I found out a few days ago, helping you build your persona. That's really the first thing to do. Then you need to identify points of contact. You need to know where your audience is. And my advice is not to spread things all over the place, but really to focus on 2 or 3 points of contact. And I'll show you how we do that right now at You Love Words. BuzzSumo again is a cool tool to get inspiration from, and Ahrefs helps you find out. It's a database of backlinks, so it helps you see where the people click for your content. So it helps you understand where they are. Nope. Wait a second. Where was I? No way. Well, I didn't open it actually. So this is I'll show you the persona tool. I thought I opened it, but I did not. But it's really a cool, like 10 steps tool that helps you build your persona. Actually, it's really relevant. Let me show you how we send our newsletter on our tool called Campaign Monitor. Maybe you're using MailChimp and not Campaign Monitor. I mean, we stick to Campaign Monitor because we started there and it works well. It's a bit more expensive than MailChimp, but we have good results with it. So for example, this is my dashboard, and what I did before sending my newsletter is that I compiled my database. Okay, where's the point of contact of my marketing director actually at the office in front of its computer and in front of its Gmail or message server. So we were like fighters with the team trying to find out all the emails we could get from our targets. So we bought some databases. We added, if you go to youlovewords.com today, you'll see like a small opt-in made by Opt-in Monster with a subscription to our newsletter. So that's what we did, and we got a lot of leads from that. And we did some growth hacking. I think we learned that from here. And I don't know if you're using Email Hunter, but Email Hunter is a really cool tool linked to LinkedIn that's helping you try to find what's the email of the person you're having as a friend on LinkedIn. I think it's legal. I'm not sure it is, but it works. So content marketing is as well like being smart enough to push your company forward. So we have like a database of 4,000 to 5,000 marketers, and we send them a weekly newsletter. The last one was opened by 32%. Okay, clicked by 8 to 9. Not bad, not great, but it's getting better and better. And you could see here. This is something you might already know, but for those who don't, that's really great. Here are all the clicks made by all the people we send the newsletter to. So it really helps us discovering that a guy from Decathlon is in love with our brand, and we didn't know it. So it's really cool. Tom, our sales guy, calls him like the minute after, trying to find some cool tricks to make him understand that we're not like spying him, but it's tricky sometimes, but it works. And in the end, like we have a conversion rate of 5, and then 10, and then 15. And we have more and more customers doing that. The only way to make this process work is to then have nice content on your platform. I mean, the newsletter we worked in is quite well templated. The content we have on our blog, they are nice, but we're working hard to make so that it's nice. But these tools, they really help you like boost the interest of your content. But that's not all. I think the big trick is working on triggers. If you click to automation here, you can really create a workflow. I don't know if you're doing that today, but the workflow helps you automate actions and sending content to your audience. So maybe you know that the birthday of one of your leads or your clients is that day. At that day, you'll send him an automated content, I don't know, with a gift. It could be like a white paper that we've produced, but maybe a cool one, not like a too corporate one. It could be a GIF or something like that. But this is really cool to, at a certain point of time, to say, okay, I'm not always doing it as a craftsman and doing it by hand, but I'm producing a list of content that will tap to the inbox of all my persona and all my target, and really try to see how it works and push it forward and forward and forward. So if you're interested in knowing more about it, let's sit an afternoon and speak about it together. I'd be really happy. Is it okay for you? It's a lot of stuff, right? It's interesting to see that 57% of B2B customers are half the way through the purchasing process before they contact a sales rep. It really shows that, I mean, half the work has to be done on the platform and on the website and on the blog and on the newsletter. But once you did that well, the 50% left are something you might already better know than producing content. That's maybe something that you already are really relevant in and performant. I won't spend that much time in SEO, and we are coming close to the end of the presentation. We're not an SEO agency, so we're not the best person here in the place to speak about SEO. We know some experts in SEO, and we know how to write an SEO-friendly content, even though we're not an SEO agency. So SEO, yes, sir. There are like 7 to 10 rules that you really need to respect when you write a content. Today, there are studies that show that the titles really have to be like, I think it's not more than 79 characters. Some others say it's 137. So just the idea is to say that you have to make short title. Then you have to have H1 and H2. I don't know if you know what this is, but when you write an article, you don't have to write a block article. You really have to write subtitles in your article. Google Panda likes it. You know what Google Panda is? It's not like a nice animal smiling at you. It's quite angry. It's the algorithm of Google that really understands and makes so that content has to be qualitative. So no need to speak about duplicate content. This doesn't work. Content that are not well built for Google Panda features or way of working, it doesn't work. So have more and more backlinks as possible in your content. Do some cross-linking. We have a lot of articles on the blog speaking about it, but you have to cross-link your articles. Panda likes the fact that, within your 40 articles posted on your blog, they're related one to the other, really with concrete links. So this is a small tip that you might already know, but that will help you. For the keywords, you really have to choose within keywords that have the wider range of possibilities, but with the less competition. Force. I'm not sure if it's clear, but some keywords you will never be able to buy them because your competitors that have much more money than you, they buy it. But you really have to find the ones, the words and the titles and the keywords that are not that much bought by your competitors. And this is where maybe you can find niche content that in the end will help you sell your product. I'm not sure you know, is it opened? Let me check here or here. Yeah. Do you have a WordPress at your company? Yeah. Do you use Yoast SEO? Maybe. I like it because it's SEO pour les nuls. It's for dummies. It's really cool. When you write a content, so you see here there's a title, there are some subtitles here, like Data Revolution, what is it? You have some cross-linking, you can see that in blue. And in the end, there's a tool for dummies called Yoast, and it really shows you here if your content is fitted for SEO. The green light shows that it's cool, the red light, the opposite. So it's really, and you learn a lot of things reading that. I won't go reading the whole list, but when it's read, okay, there's no image, that's normal because I put the image and I didn't double check this content. But once the image will be on the content, it will be fine. But this is really cool. I mean, there's everything in here. If you have a WordPress, that will help you have optimized SEO content. We're coming to the end. When I was launching my company and looking for fundraising and investors, I was always fearing that the competitor will do better than me. So I was kind of stressed and not wanting to see what they were doing. I don't know if you have the same thing, but I don't want to see reality. What are they doing? That's really not a good thing to do. That's really better to take time to see what they're doing. Subscribe to all their newsletter. Maybe not like 20 because otherwise you won't read them. But what we do at YouLoveWords is that we subscribe to the 5 companies that we think they're competitors. And actually, we're learning a lot from them, and we're getting better and better learning from them. So. And it pushes us to be better than them and to find things they're not speaking about. So that's really important to see that. To compare their success with yours, and it will really help you know what's trending in your domain. I'm suggesting you like 2 or 3 tools for that. I'm sure you already have Google alerts coming to your mailbox, but if you don't, do that. If your competitor is Withings. Vous êtes mal barré, mais you could only add like in 2 seconds Withings, Google Alert, and you can define if you want to receive news about them every day or every week or every minute when it's posted. It's free, it works well. Socialmention.com is a really cool tool for monitoring mention. So I think this one I have it. No, it's not this one. It's this one. Okay, so I wrote about Withings, by the way, and this is really listing all the articles that are published right now, or in the last days. I can define it about Withings. That's really a cool tool. It gives sentiment. They call that sentiment or sentiment, and it's really interesting to see how powerful the social mention things these mentions are. But I learned a lot from that, and that really helps me producing relevant content. So I really invite you to test it, and I think it's free actually, or there's a free trial. Last but not least, this one seems to be crazy. I've never used it, but I found out about it yesterday. It's SpyFu. You can download your competitors' most profitable keywords and ads for paid and organic search. So you can see where they buy, how much they pay for it. That's really cool. So, well, this is a dashboard. We love dashboards. Paid keywords. So you can see which keyword they bought and how much they paid for it, what's the daily cost. I'm not sure if it's 100% precise, but it's super interesting to see how much you would pay for that thing. I mean, 1 year ago, I was totally novice in all of this. I was wondering how much people paid for that, and this is a really cool tool that you should try to understand what your competitors are doing and maybe take good ideas from it. You're not the only one producing content. It's a war, you know that. For example, there are like every day 8 billion videos posted on Facebook. So good luck. I'm sure you'll do it, but just to be sure that you see what people around you are doing and what your competitors are doing. Are you still okay? Yeah? I'm getting a bit tired, but there's only 2 slides. This is really the most important thing, and I think that's the challenge for all of us. I include us in that mix. Producing and engaging content, sure, it's complicated. Now we have the luck at We Love Words and at You Love Words. We have like 25,000 in our data, 25,000 writers and talents in our database. So we can click and suggest a topic to be written by one of our writers, and the minute after they are like the coolest ones saying to us, oh, that's a cool idea, we could speak about it. So that's a good thing we manage. And I'm sure you have around you people that can help you. If you don't, we will help you. But then if you follow your strategy, what you really need to do at the end of the process is really to listen to the numbers and adjust accordingly. Google Analytics is your best friend, and I would not necessarily advise you to search for other ones. Keep it simple, really keep it simple. I'm not sure you have like all raised the $2 or $3 or $10 million. We didn't as well, so we have to stick to reality and use the tools that we have close to us. But be obsessed with figures. Check them weekly, not like monthly or when you decide to. This is the only way to be sure that what you're doing will work. And take quick decisions. You really have to be quick. When you see that portrait is working, you have to understand that you need to produce portrait or interviews. If you feel that your infographics are working well and you have the capacity to produce some others, do it quick. But really follow all of this. And the best thing for that is to build your own data, your own dashboard and your own report. We are still building some at You Love Words, but I'm sure you will have to do yours. And notice that 10% of your traffic is driven by 90% of your, 90% of your traffic is driven by 10% of your content. So you really need to produce the best content, not like hundreds of, but some of them, and to be sure that you spend time on these ones. Well, I'm not sure you remember this quote from Zuckerberg. I think he wrote on his business card, "I'm the CEO, bitch." I don't know if I saw that in a movie or if it's a myth. But what I suggest you, and I will conclude with this, is to write it in your strategy. Like really write the fact that you're the CEO, bitch. But CEO not in the way he meant necessarily, but CEO is like creating, I really want you to create cool, relevant, sustainable and consistent content. I'm sure you will do so. That you will engage your audience. I didn't speak about Pulse, but we're using a lot LinkedIn Pulse. We're using our blog, Campaign Monitor, and LinkedIn Pulse. We don't spend that much time on Facebook and Twitter because it's not that relevant for us. So really see where you can engage your audiences. It's really important. You not necessarily have to be on Facebook. And then really in the end, optimize. And do that again and again and again. And please show Zuckerberg who's the real CEO, bitch. Thank you.
You didn't mention virality in your message. How can you build virality inside your content, content that people want to share?
I mean, it's the same game. You will never have somebody sharing your content if you're not teaching, educating, entertaining him. So my first answer would be to say, okay, be sure that what you produce is good enough so that the guy that you have in front of you, I mean your customers, take the decisions to make it viral. I don't know if it's a fair answer for you, but then you can boost that with adverts, but I would not necessarily advise you to do that. I would really advise you to really be sure that what you're producing comes from good data that you have about what your audience is expecting, creative enough so that, I mean, all the industry is not saying the same thing, because if you do that, virality will not come. Be sure that the audience you have in front of you is good enough and convinced enough that what your mission and your values are will have them sharing. And well, that's what I would answer to you. Then we're not specialized, to be honest. I'm not neither, but in the end, it's content marketing in itself. With social media strategy. This is really a job in itself. I don't know if you speak about this precisely, but there are a lot of really cool tools that help you do that. So for example, you might use, I think you do, Hootsuite. This is really something really cool that will help you plan and manage the way you send content over your social networks. I think there's a feature that helps you send your content at the best moment in front of the best audience you have. They have a tool that will help you foster engagement and virality if you use it well. So I would say it's really, again, relevant content. Be creative enough. Be sure that it's SEO friendly, because otherwise people won't see it. And then well, that's seemed to be obvious. But I see a lot of posts and a lot of content that are not opened to something after the content. So dead ends, Jean de la Roche-Brochard would say they are overkill. You don't have to have dead ends at the end of the content. So I mean, to push and to foster virality, you have to add interrogation point. You have to really show that what you're doing is open to discussion and engagement with your audience. Thank you.
Hello. Do you have any idea of a minimum amount of hour per week to consacrer to build content marketing strategy?
I would say it really depends on what your staff is.
Like three people. Yes.
Oh, 3 people. Again, I'll start from the beginning. It really depends on your goals. If you have the 3 goals we listed, you have them, like brand engagement, brand sentiment, lead generation, and I mean, it will take you a lot of time. I'm not sure that there's a magical recipe for this. I would just say to you that it takes some time. I really see it takes some time. So we could sit down and understand what's your problematic, but. For me, at least 1 hour a day would be a good start to be sure that you pay enough attention to your content strategy. Yeah.
Thank you.
But if you're a community manager, I mean, it would be much more than this for sure.
Hello, I just wanted to know how far can you go using some other contents to build yours? As your example for L'Occitane, you used Max Richter album.
Yeah.
How far can you go with this? Like, is it okay to use another product to sell yours?
Well, this is like my first answer would be it's journalism in a way. They will Max Richter will never. I mean, if you use a cover that's copyrighted and you don't have, well, I mean, you're blocked for sure. But this is not the case for that one. So I would say, take the opportunity to do it, and don't be too afraid that what you're managing is something like illegal. For sure, stick to legacy and intellectual propriety. But I mean, how far you? It's kind of like of a game. I mean, you test things and you see how it bites and how it works. And if you see that you went too far from the borders, you might go back a little bit. Remember, I'm not sure it's a good example, but Deezer, when they launched their product, it was totally illegal. So they did it, and they had some audiences and people coming to and subscribing to their service. And then they started speaking with the major company and so on. So I would say it's not that I'm suggesting you to go super far, but don't refrain yourself too much. What I'm saying to my team is that mistake is something that's allowed in the company. You can do mistake, but you have to be really engaged and exceptional in the way you're trying to do things. But you can do mistakes. I don't know if it's a good answer for you, but I would say you can go far. Go far. Do it. Yeah.
Hey, what's a good retention rate for content? Like, so you have 2 articles, one Monday, one Wednesday. What do you expect, you personally?
So personally, I'll say to you, it really depends whether you're a B2B or a B2C company. And
for B2C.
B2C companies, I mean, when you say retention, is how many views or how many likes or how many?
Like you have a article on Monday,
Yeah.
then 1,000 people.
Yeah.
How many of them do you expect to come back for the Wednesday
Okay.
post?
Well, I would say 100%. I'll really try to be sure that what I'm doing makes people that they are in love with what we're doing. But the idea is to maybe start small, but really always go higher and higher. So I would say 10 to 15 will be good at the beginning, and then you'll have to develop it and to push it forward.
Do you have 100% at
No.
Love Words?
No, I don't. To be honest, I don't. But the idea is not to have like 100%, is to have the good ones. So my focus as well, when I said to you, what's your KPIs, the one you want to follow, you really have to follow the one that are really important to you. So I'd prefer having like Accor Hotel as a client than I don't know, than a company that would not be that interesting for us. So that's this one that's going to be more interesting for me than having like amazing figures. So yeah, my tip would not maybe be to be focused on all the than having the highest figure, but more being sure that the figures you have is a good figure, composed with really your target. Thank you.
Hello.
Yep.
What do you think about hosting or pushing content from others? I mean, no competitors, but not being always self-centered and show we can also find value in others' posts. How do you do that? How much? And what's the risk?
Well, I think it's a really cool thing to do, for sure. You notice that on your social networks, if you're only speaking about you, I mean, people get bored. So the matter is not to only sell your thing and speak about yourself. So for sure, I would not advise you to do that. So you have a lot of aggregation platform, Scoopit maybe, there are some others that really help you not only be always in the mood of producing high-end content and spending a lot of money with this. So I would suggest you indeed to split and to be sure that what you're pushing on your newsletter and on your and on your own networks, they are diversified and mixed enough to be sure that your audience likes and enjoy what you're doing. I would say half, but I would say yeah. I'm really, but maybe I'm not that objective. But I really advise brands to take time to produce their own content. It's not duplicate. It shows they spend time on doing their stuff. They can measure it. They can measure them much better than content from others. It takes more money. It takes more time. But yeah, I would rather be this than maybe the figures you listen in the market, like 90% aggregation and 10% production. Newscred in the US. I don't know if you know Newscred. It's an amazing project. They're far away and they are aggregating a lot of content, and they do that well. But our posture or position today, when we speak with our clients, is really to say less is more. Is really to say that L'Occitane, they were producing hundreds of content with results that were not sufficient enough. So the decision we made was really to produce less, but really produce high-end content. Why? Because people, they won't take time to read them. Again, when I said you take 2 seconds to decide to read an article or not, and then you have 8 seconds span attention time. So I would really advise you to be sure that you work like a craftsman on your content, and that you produce something really really relevant. Though again, I would not say that you only have to do this. It's funny because when we started launching our newsletter, we were speaking about a lot of other things we found on internet. Maybe some produced by our competitors, and we were sending traffic to our competitors, but we were thinking it was bringing like brain to the whole ecosystem. And we noticed that the content that were not ours were not working as well as the ones we were producing. So it's a battle, and it takes time, and maybe Scoopit will say to you the opposite. I don't know, I'm not sure. But my advice would just say to you again, test and learn. Maybe spend 1 month doing like the 50-50 split I suggested you, and maybe another month just producing your own content, and so you'll see how it works. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hi, Gregory.
Hi.
I have a big problem because my content is very tiny and very huge in the same time. So it depends on the subject I choose in my blog post or in my infographics. I really will touch different people with different profile, and so it's very hard for me to know which kind of profile I may convert. So do you have any tool, or
So
do you have any
How are you providing your content?
by
so you're
blog
saying
post
to me
essentially?
by
Blog post essentially.
blog post. Okay, so you have a blog
Yeah,
and you have a newsletter.
yeah, of course.
Okay.
An opt-in.
And
an
so what
opt-in.
you're saying is that when you're looking at all these figures, I mean your MailChimp ones or your Campaign Monitor ones, are you having one of these
Yeah,
tools?
yeah, yeah, of
Alright.
course.
So and you're saying to me it's not speaking to you that much what you see. You're not.
Yeah, exactly. Because the retention rate or the engagement rate can really flow a lot.
Okay.
Depends on the subject we choose.
Yeah.
So
My conclusion to this is that when you really look at these figures, you should define what's working. Maybe if it's not like that evident and that amazing. I mean, listening to you, you're saying maybe one infographic one day will work and the day after it won't work that much, and maybe one day an article will smash it and the others it won't. That's it. Well, you have a problem. but I would really start from the beginning. Is it because one day you send it to a special kind of audience or not? If it's not, really like take a paper and try to understand why you don't have really evidence coming to you using your Mailchimp or your Campaign Monitor. We'll have to sit down. Maybe it's because I don't know. One answer would be I would stick again to the manifesto and to my brand. Does it shows that people, they don't really understand what I'm selling and what I'm doing? Maybe it means that the message is not clear enough yet. So you were asking me if I had a tool to understand this. Today the tool we use is our Campaign Monitor and the BuzzSumo tool. When we mix that, we have some evidence coming. It doesn't mean, by the way, that when a content is not making like 100 likes, it's not a good content. The answer is really to see what's coming in your wallets at the end of the day. So if you have an infographic that's having 10 likes, but that have like a 15% engagement rate because the infographic was great, I mean, this is a cool content and you should focus on this. But then it's really analysis. It's really sitting down and trying to put some brain juice in your reflection. But if you want, we can sit down one day and try to play with the figures and try to see why one day an infographic works and why it doesn't the other one. Yeah. I hope it helps. But all right.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for your
Thanks.
presentation. It's about the 8-second figure and how to hack this when you're creating a long read, long format.
Yeah, what's the trick? First trick, often when you start with a long read, you're not always thinking that you need like the super headline, the chapeau. When you have a shorter content, what I often see is that you have a. I tried to see this morning how I would translate chapeau. I don't know if you know how to do this. The cap or the hat, or I don't know.
Teaser.
The teaser, yeah. And when you start a long read, I mean, the teaser is a long read. So never forget that when you have a long content, the first thing you have to do is to have a snack content at the beginning to be sure that the person that's going to read the content will take some time. The other thing is that that's something we like, and it's not like genius doing this, but we like to write how much time you will need to read the content. And I don't see that everywhere. And some clients of ours yesterday were saying to us that they didn't really want to put that figure. Because when it's short, they want to show that it's snack content. Well, my advice would be to see if you're entering into the reading of a long read, you really have to be sure that it's a long read. So often you're disappointed to see that, oh, it's long and I didn't have that much time to read it. then I would say do the maximum at the beginning of your content, and it's like having a cliffhanger every paragraph.
It's about having a cliffhanger every 8 seconds.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's about when you look at Game of Thrones and so on. That's what they're doing. You don't have the same medium and the same money as this for sure, but it really comes back. That's what we like with Joëvin in our team and all the rest of the team. It's really bringing value every time. So then you cannot bet on human intelligence and this figure is interesting actually because you have to moderate it, or you have to have in mind as well that we have less span attention, but we can do many things. We can do more things at the same time than before. So reading a long read, doing something else is not easy. But I'm sure in the end that's what some people do. So yeah, like having intensity in your content and be relevant and bring value. And that's something I see sometimes. Maybe the family does that. I'm not sure if I dreamt about it. But when you go to their new website, there's a video opening when you stopped scrolling. So I'm not. I don't know if I understand. Yeah, there's something coming back to your eyes and saying to you, "Whoa, don't leave," or "Are you dreaming of something?" Or what? Then you follow. That could be a trick. You could. I don't know. You could have. Yeah. There's things to imagine about this. But that's a good question. Thank you. That's all. All right.
You'll be around.
Sorry? Yeah, I'll stay here if you want to ask questions and have lunch. Thanks a lot.